Hi, Pat. It's Mr. Frederick, and today we're going to talk about Desmos. Desmos is a math/educational software, but today we're going to use it for its graphing features. We really like it as a graphing calculator and equation editor. So one way to get there, of course, is to type in Desmos, Desmos, and then calculator into Google, and you can go that way. And it'll be brought you just a blank graph, or you can go in here, desmos.com/calculator. There it is. Or you can end up here. There we go. Go away Chrome. So that's two ways to access this information. I'm not signed in right now, but what you could do is you could hit sign up if you haven't used it before. And you use your Frisco ISD email address. It's a good idea to go ahead and sign up because you can save graphs. If we work on projects in class, you could save that. So you just agree. I've already done that, so I'm going to hit log in with Google, and there we go. I am logged in to Desmos. Let me make sure, am I still here? There I am. Sorry, my computer was glitching a little bit. So now that I'm in Desmos, I could title this graph, Test Graph August 30th. And that'll help me find it later. Then notice the graph, you can see different things. It's by ones right now, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up and down, you can see all quadrants. Those are settings you can change. You can also zoom in and it gets smaller, or you can zoom out. So that's the basics of this graph landing page and where we're going to build our graphs in Desmos. So if you type over here, you go click on this first spot, you can go ahead and put in an equation. We can put in, let's see, y equals 3x. Just a simple equation, simple function, and there it graphs it. It gives you a red line. It's very nice to see. It gives you 0, 0, the origin, but it's also with the x and y intercept. So if I were to go -4, I now get both the x-intercept right there and the y-intercept. Interesting, just a side note, this gives it to you as a fraction, so that's all, or that gives it to you as a decimal, but you can use it as a fraction as well. That 1.333 is what? 1 1/3, so that's cool. Then I can type in a second equation, y equals, let's say, -2x plus 5. And so there's that blue one, and I'm just typing it on my keyboard. You can also open up this equation box. Hold on, my face is in the way. I could open this little button up, and I could type it in that way if you were using the touch screen, if you have a touch screen. And so there's my interception point, and I could zoom out. And it's really cool because it kind of gives you a visualization that we normally didn't get to see when we used pen and paper. Our lines really are infinite, and you can keep going and going and going like we got in scientific notation. These lines are infinite, which is exactly what we say and what we're going to talk about this year. So let me zoom back in. Almost there. So we've seen how you kind of put in equations. These are both linear equations. And so going from there, and then I can also move it around like this. Let's say I wanted a third equation. I wanted a quadratic, just simple y equals x squared. You can either use the shift 6, and it takes you into the superscript and type in a 2, or I could type in a 3, a 5, an 89. I mean, there's a bunch of different things, but really we're going to be working with quadratics. So you can type in a 2, and you can see that quadratic. Again, I'm sure you saw this earlier. You can open up this keyboard and go like that. A just stands for quantity there, and it gives you that squared. That's pretty straightforward. So you can do that. Let's leave that on there. And I want to type in an inequality. So I want to set a boundary for -12 is less than x, and x is less than or equal to 25. And so as you can see, Desmos graphs it the way we'd want it to graph it. We have dotted line here and a regular line here. And so anything in between those is highlighted. Again, we can go on and on forever, but I'm not going to show you that again. One more of our major types. Let's look at y equals an absolute value. That's what this little symbol is here down here. 4x. Let's do 1/3 x. Oh no. That's not what I wanted. There we go, 1/3 x. We got a nice, this kind of fat, kind of falling thing right there. Okay, and that's how we could create absolute value in Desmos using the keyboard. And then you can also use right above enter, shift, there you go, 3x. There's that. It's the right above the enter key. It has a backslash as well as a straight up and down bar. Now, if I wanted to change something, so let's go back here. Let's put in y equals 3x plus 6. I hit settings. I could change the color if I wanted to. So if you cared what the color was, that's an option. And you can also change the style. So this makes it dotted. This makes it lined, dashed, and this makes it dotted. So those are all options. Change the color. You convert this to a table. So that's nifty. You see values right there. And that was in settings. I did that. I open settings back up. And I could duplicate. That's kind of this equation bar over here. Now let's go over here and look at these settings. Graph settings. We can reverse contrast. It just gives us different colors. So if you don't want to look at the white, you want the black light. There's a braille mode. There's a grid. I would leave it on the grid. This is for polar coordinates. You don't need that right now. And then you can set your axis manually. So if I wanted only to see positive numbers, I could do that. And there you go, only positive numbers. And radians and degrees down here. And that's basically a quick intro into Desmos. And then I hit save, and it saves. And so now let's go to my home. And that opens that back up. Then I can go over here, and I have all the different things that I've saved, different graphs and stuff. A lot of this I've used when I was in college. I did some research with it, so it's very nice to have that all saved under one account in case you need to go back to it.